It's taken from the perspective of the village. Looking back towards GPAC, you see the back side of the hotel where the actual porte cochere is and the entryway. The next slide is from the northwest looking back southeast. You see the pool that's being put in at the Hampton, the clock tower, and the frontage isometric along Germantown Parkway. And then the next slide is looking from the west back to the east. It's the main entryway into the entire development. You see the southwest corner of the hotel as well as the front of Bob Richards. You clearly see the clock tower. Phase 5, the infrastructure work and the foundations going in on the right. Phase 4 on the left. And then we're back to the southwest corner, which really shows the whole development, the whole 17-acre parcel.
Well, share with our viewers a little bit about what is going in. We can see the Hampton Inn is very soon to be open. We know that the jewelry store is already open. What will be the next phases that we would expect to see some construction come out of the ground?
It's a total of 5 phases. We started working on the project in 2010. Phase 1 consisted of all of the infrastructure, the drainage, the utilities, the grading, the clearing, all the streets, the clock tower, the pocket park. Phase 2 was Bob Richards, he is in and open for business. Phase 3 is the hotel, which is 108 rooms. Phase 4 is the 251 multifamily units, which you could see on the slides. Phase 5 is the mixed-use component, which also has residential above it. We hope to have a minimum of 5 restaurants and then a variety of retail uses, and all those are on the ground floor. All the residences are on the second floor with garage parking on the ground floor.
Well, I think the entire development excites me, but I know hearing 5 restaurants are going to really excite our residents. They've always had fine dining as one of the things that we aspire for. I know you can't tell us who some of those tenants may be, but do you see a mix of maybe fast casual and prime dining?
You know, when we started this project, we sat down with Paul Chandler at GPAC and talked to some of the area residents as well as some of the tenants that we were originally working with, and some of the people that had reached out to us about renting some of the apartments within the development. And a common theme that we heard across the board was that this project hopefully will be a continuation of the city center to the north, and will kind of tie in the village property with the city center. And that a missing component from a walkability standpoint was quality food uses and a mixture of food and restaurants. And so we believe that the people that are living there in the new Somerset subdivision as well, those people want to walk, they want to be able to have the ability to go somewhere and sit down and eat, and not just the same place every night, but to have the variety and as well as the convenience.
I think we could do a whole show on some of your theories on mixed use. We've had conversations before. What really got you involved in mixed use? Your company was kind of more standard on commercial development, hotels, but you really kind of, I guess the switch went off and the light bulb went on.
It was kind of a mixture of things all came together at one time. Like I said, we were trying to sell this property for the Owen Trust in 2010. I took a trip to Washington, D.C. with my wife and kids, and just to see Washington. I'd been there before, but had never walked to the degree that we did at this time, used obviously the subway system quite a bit and stayed in Georgetown. And just walking around our nation's capital, which is an exemplary example of urban planning, walkability. And I came back and I started looking at this property, and instead of trying to sell it, I wondered if there was a possibility that we could develop it. And so urban planning, as you know, it takes time. It is very atypical of suburban planning, that where you typically see a freestanding building, 1 story. And so it takes time and it takes patience. It takes getting the community on board as well as the city, the people in Germantown, the staff, the administration, the aldermen, the commissioners have just been so supportive and have just been encouraging from beginning to end. And I think that with everyone's input, the project has over time really become a kind of a platform to where we feel like it's in a good example, a healthy example of urban planning. You know, in 2010, that's word holistic has been around for maybe 10, 15 years to where it's just used in so many contexts. But I think that this urban planning, this model, I think it's holistic. I think it's healthy for the community. I think it's something the community will look back on and say, you know what, I like living around it. I think it's a good thing to live next to. I like going there. I think it feels like it's a part of a city. It's not identified with a certain use or a certain tenant, but it's really a mixture of uses, and it's a place that everyone feels open and welcome to be a part of.